Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video this evening I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So these are lots to talk about on this video, so I am going to be giving you some latest news regarding Lionel Messi, also going to be giving you the latest news regarding Paul Pogba. But before I delve into the topic of Paul Pogba, the first topic I'm going to start with is Lionel Messi. Now, there's a possibility chance that Lionel Messi could leave Barcelona in the summer. The main explanations for this is that, Sky Sports did report out yesterday, and Sky Sports is a very reliable source. They said that Lionel Messi has had a dispute with the Barcelona sporting director, Eric Abidal. Now, Eric Abidal has given his own perception on it, and he feels as though that, the Barcelona players were not satisfied under former manager Ernesto Valverde, because Barcelona, recently sacked Ernesto Valverde and that. Also, he didn't only have a dispute with the sporting director. Lionel Messi also had a training ground dispute with Marc-Andre ter Stegen. So this is actually fueled speculation. It's the speculation coming out saying that Lionel Messi could possibly reunite with Pep Guardiola at Man City, because Man City are in for him. I think up to around 6 clubs are in for him. Also, Manchester United are in for him. Inter Milan, PSG, Real Madrid, and also to Juventus. Lionel Messi is available for 3 this summer, because he's got a clause in his contract, that will allow him to go on a free transfer this summer. But I think his release clause is a good, £500-600 million is Lionel Messi's. But I don't believe what's coming out of the media about this. I do believe that Lionel Messi, will end up staying at Barcelona, because up until this point, Lionel Messi has spent the entirety of his career with Barcelona. Obviously, made his senior debut in 2003. Obviously, I think he's been there now a good, 16, 17, 18 years in total, and I don't see him now, leaving Barcelona. I think he will remain loyal. He is regarded as one of the best players in the world, despite the fact now he is 32 years of age. Lionel Messi in total for Barcelona has won 34 trophies. He holds the record for the most goals in La Liga. He has 433 La Liga goals in 469 La Liga appearances, and I think he scored over 700 goals for club and country. And if I'm right, I think he's actually nowhere he is the top scorer for Argentina, or the leading top scorer. He isn't currently playing for Argentina now, is Lionel Messi. Also too, he has 177 assists in the La Liga, and he has around 35 hat-tricks in the La Liga. So yeah, very good player is Lionel Messi, and it would be interesting to see what he would do if he did come to the Premier League. But I do believe if Lionel Messi does move, he will go to Manchester City, because he'll be keen on playing under Pep Guardiola. But I don't see him coming to Man United or going to Real Madrid or Juventus. But I think this is just the media, justifying their existence on, the vast majority of these stories. I think he will end up, remaining loyal to Barcelona. But he has got around 18 months left on his current contract as Lionel Messi. But, when he's going to be available free in the summer, obviously, you're going to get a lot of teams that are going to go in for Lionel Messi. But I don't see this happening, to be quite honest with you. So that's the latest news regarding him. Now, I'm going to delve into the topic regarding Paul Pogba. So, Paul Pogba, this is according to Sky Sports. Well, it's happened anywhere. He has been left out of our warm weather training camp in Spain to continue his rehabilitation from his ankle injury. Now, the game against Chelsea is after the winter break. That could be too soon for Paul Pogba. Also to McTominay, because also McTominay has been left out of the warm weather training camp, because obviously, he's got a current knee injury to Scott McTominay, but I think he's recently, been back in training. But reverting back to what I said about Paul Pogba, I think he's going to be leaving the football club in the summer. Obviously, Paul Pogba's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Reports have been coming out today saying that we've slashed Paul Pogba's valuation by £30 million. So I think this summer we want around £150 million. I think reflecting back last summer, we wanted around 170 or £180 million. Real Madrid were not determined to pay it, because Real Madrid were relentlessly, linked with him last summer, Paul Pogba. There was a relentlessly linked with him. But obviously, they didn't get a deal over the line because, Real Madrid were not willing to meet, what we was basically demanding. Obviously, there's still a lot of speculation about him possibly making a return back to Turin, because Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Turin, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison and that. But, like I said, some United fans would like to keep Paul Pogba, some United fans would like to see Paul Pogba go. Obviously, it will be very beneficial when he does come back from injury, because we'll look much better in that midfield. You can imagine a partnership, of Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. I do believe, to be honest with you, they would complement each other fantastically well. But, I think, Paul Pogba doesn't want to be here. He's already revealed this. He told our teammates not too long ago he doesn't want to be at Manchester United. So he's got the same perception now as what he had last summer, because he revealed last summer that he wanted to leave Manchester United to seek for a new challenge. Paul Pogba, I think now he's entering the final year of his contract at Man United. I think he's entering the final year. Man United do have an option to extend Paul Pogba's contract by a further year, but I'm very sceptical that we will extend his current contract. But I think he'll end up, leaving Manchester United in the summer, definitely, because we're seeing basically Bruno Fernandes as the adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. But, Paul Pogba's only played 8 games this season anyway. His appearances have been limited, obviously, reflecting on the amount of injuries that he's had this season. But he's still 26 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. And, he's still regarded as one of the best midfielders in the world, is Paul Pogba. And, Paul Pogba was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation when we had Jose Mourinho, because Paul Pogba endured a difficult, time with Jose Mourinho. They had a bad relationship, and when Mourinho got sacked from the club, Paul Pogba got one of his current best wishes. So, yeah, he's not part of the training camp in Spain. He's been left out to recover from his current injury. So that's the latest news regarding Paul Pogba. But, so far, Solskjaer, since he's come in, he has, recommended 5 players into Manchester United. I think he's spent over £200 million on recruiting new players in since he got recommended in. And Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now for around nearly 14 months. He's been permanent boss for almost 11 months. And obviously, on the other hand, a lot of other players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. But we're already making plans for the summer, because Manchester United need to make more signings in the summer. Solskjaer's had 3 transfer windows so far, and I still probably believe that Solskjaer will be here in the summer, because, we are determined to give him more time to see who else he can recommend into the football club. And I admire him, for the, players he's recommended in so far. Last summer, Solskjaer recommended Daniel James, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And also in January, Solskjaer recommended Bruno Fernandes and Odin Igalo in. But I do believe, they will dramatically improve Manchester United. Obviously, it's not enough, Man United obviously, not good enough to win the league yet. We're not good enough to mount any kind of title challenge up. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations will be that top 4, definitely. It's going to be that top 4. But the way we're looking at it is that, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, because analysing the vast majority of this team, it isn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. There's still players here from the Van Gaal era. There's still matter here from the David Moyes era. There's still a couple of players here from the Alex Ferguson era. Solskjaer's basically looking to build a squad worthy of the club's history. And basically, he's trying to build a team, Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. He believes Solskjaer, if he gets given the right amount of time, he can emulate into the next Jurgen Klopp. But I'm very sceptical about that. Solskjaer has got 2.5 years left on his deal at Manchester United. I'm very sceptical that I will see out his 2.5 year deal that he's got remaining, but I do believe he will still be Manchester United manager at the end of the season, definitely in that. If Solskjaer is to be sacked, then it's very imminent that Mauricio Pochettino will be our next manager. That's if he doesn't, get another job before the end of the season, but I don't see that happening. He won't come to Man United before the end of the season, because obviously, Tottenham then would be entitled to £10 million in compensation. But like I've said, Solskjaer is not the long-term solution for Man United. I've got a lot of element of concerns about him. He's tactically naive. He doesn't have a plan B. He doesn't have a plan A either. And I just think he isn't good enough as a manager. He's too inexperienced, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Too inexperienced. Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career that he's managing. Before he came to Man United, he was at Mould. Before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. And obviously his record at Cardiff was also, very, very bad. So he's too inexperienced, and I've got the same perception on Michael Carrick. He was a good player, but too inexperienced. Kieran McKenna, too inexperienced. So I think the whole mentality of the club is wrong. But not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer, why we've been so inconsistent. I know Solskjaer's obviously, since he was appointed permanent manager, he's lost more games in the Premier League than he's won, and we're enjoying our worst start to a Premier League season in 30 years. But, there's a lot of fundamental issues at the club, and we need someone to come in to change the culture of the club. There's obviously, a lot of our fans have got doubts about, the executive and the club's ownership. So obviously we're demanding Ed Woodward and the Glazers out. We're also demanding the board out, because our board have been a liability for several years, reflecting on our poor recruitment and also reflecting on our poor selection of managers and that. But, Solskjaer is not the right manager for Manchester United. With him bringing in Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagalo in, doesn't change my perception on Solskjaer and that. Because there's not only problems with the backroom staff or the management, there's also problems on the pitch, because there's still a lot of aspects of our game that need to improve. And I will credit Bruno Fernandes, because he did fantastic on his debut against Wolves. The only thing I'm concerned about is, the usage of Bruno Fernandes. Is Solskjaer going to play him in his predominant position every game? He needs to stay in that attacking midfield role. And like Ryan Giggs came out not too long ago and said, Bruno Fernandes could be a liability in a deep midfield role, so he can't be playing as a holding midfielder. And that's something, Manchester United cannot do, basically. But I think he'll do really, really well for Manchester United, will Bruno Fernandes. And I do presume he'll be making his second appearance against Chelsea. Odi Nagalo, I think he'll also do well for us. I do believe he will get given his chances, Odi Nagalo. I think he's a good cover-up for Marcus Rashford. You've got Marcus Rashford out. Marcus Rashford, that's out for at least the next couple of months with a double fracture in his back. And like I said, Rashford has been one of our best players this season. And he's a good alternative to Anthony Martial. Obviously, Odi Nagalo wants Anthony Martial's role, so I think we need to put Odi Nagalo in Anthony Martial's role, and then what we should do is either drop Martial completely, or we should put him back on the left-hand side, because that's actually Anthony Martial's predominant position, is that left-hand side. It's only been since the start of this season that he's been operating in that number 9 role, which is obviously, that central position, but he has been inconsistent, at least in his last 6 or 7 league games as Martial, and you can say he hasn't been getting enough service and he's looked so isolated up there, but he hasn't been good enough as Anthony Martial. You got Alan Shearer criticising Martial. You had Ian Wright coming out and, saying that Martial does need to be dropped. But he has had some good spells as a Manchester United player. I think probably his best season was his debut season, Anthony Martial's, under Louis van Gaal era that was. But now he's into his 5th season at the football club, is Anthony Martial. But reverting back to what I said about Odi Nagalo, I think he'll do well for us. He'll score his goals. And obviously he's another attacking option. He gave his overarching view on securing his move to Man United, Odi Nagalo. And he did say, it is a dream come true. He's a lifelong Manchester United fan. And he didn't hesitate on taking a pay cut. He didn't hesitate on that, because we've paid around £3 or £4 million to get him in on loan. Also, there's no option to buy, obviously. And I think we're paying around a third of his wages, so we're paying him around £100,000 a week. But Odi Nagalo will be making his debut against Chelsea, I should presume, after the winter break and that. But definitely, more signings are needed at Manchester United. We have got quite a few players who I presume we're going to go in for in the summer. Jack Grealish is our number 1 priority target now. James Maddison's our preference over him, but obviously James Maddison is closing in on signing a new deal at Leicester, so we're not going to get James Maddison. Obviously, Jadon Sancho, like I updated you yesterday, he said we were emerged as the favourites to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer. Obviously, he's going to cost us a substantial amount. We're probably going to have to pay around £100 million to convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him in that. But, our recruitment's definitely got to improve because Gary Neville recently, criticised our recruitment policy. He gave his overarching view on Man United, getting Odi Nagala win and that. He says, it took basically Manchester United a good 8 or 9 months to get a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. And maybe that was one of the mistakes Man United did make, was getting rid of Romelu Lukaku and that. So it hasn't been so good in the last 6 or 7 years as our recruitment and that. Obviously, Man United have invested a lot of money. We've invested a lot of money on players. I think we spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting new players in. Not only that, we have got the highest wage bill in the Premier League. So reflects on the money that's been spent at the club. We're not in the position that we should be in. Reflects on the money we spent. Realistically, we should be in Liverpool's position now, because you've got Liverpool that have spent nowhere near as much as us. City have spent not as much as us in the last 6 or 7 years. You've even got Leicester ahead of us, Sheffield United ahead of us, and they've spent not like we've currently spent. So currently take that into account, and But there is, definitely more players that need to leave Manchester United. I know a lot of players have left since Solskjaer's arrival, but there's still deadwood at the football club. You've got obviously Phil Jones that needs to go. I think, Matic needs to go because he's also a liability. He's Nemanja Matic. He didn't play against Wolves because he's been suspended. I think Paul Pogba will go in the summer, like I mentioned. Also, too, Jesse Lingard, he's now a liability. Last time I read, Atletico Madrid and Roma were interested in him. Lingard's got 18 months left on his current contract at the club. And whether you play Lingard in number 10, which is his predominant position, or play him on the right, we just can't get the best out of Jesse Lingard. Up until this point, Jesse Lingard has spent the entirety of his career with Man United. He's also had quite a lot of loan spells. Take that into account. He is now 27 years of age, is Jesse Lingard, but I think we need to get rid of him in the summer. Andres Pereira is also a liability. I think we've got to get rid of him. Juan Mata, he's one of the players I would be determined to keep. Juan Mata, I know he doesn't get in the team enough now, and he's lost that yard of pace and he's aging up, but I think he's had a good career with the club. He's now into his 6th season at Manchester United. He's Juan Mata, and he's a good backup to Bruno Fernandes, so I would be determined to keep Juan Mata. So these two players I would get rid of. Maybe I would get rid of Luke Shaw, because obviously, now Brandon Williams is our first choice left back ahead of Luke Shaw, and I think he's a better solution than Luke Shaw is Brandon Williams. Obviously Luke Shaw's more experienced, and maybe Solskjaer will go on that, in that aspect with the experience in that, but he's a better solution, Brandon Williams. Luke Shaw's had some good spells as a Man United player, but for me, he's just too injury prone, is Luke Shaw. He's had a lot of injury problems as a Manchester United player, so maybe I would consider getting rid of Luke Shaw. But there's still some players I would be determined to keep, like I mentioned. Rashford, keep him. Perhaps Martial should go now in the summer. Depends if he improves, Martial. If he improves, then I will be determined to keep him. So it's a bit debatable with Martial at the moment. Haven't made my full decision. I'd keep McTominay because before he got injured, I thought he did really, really well. I'd keep Fred because I think recently, Fred has rejuvenated himself. I'd keep the 3 signings that were recommended in last summer. I'd keep Lindelof because I think he's done really well alongside Harry Maguire. Yep, so these still some players I would keep at Manchester United, definitely. I'd keep him at Manchester United, definitely in that. And, so yeah. And obviously, we've seen 2 players go this year. Ashley Young left after he enjoyed 8.5 years at the club. He went to Inter Milan for 1.5 million. We saw Rojo go out on loan to Estudiantes. Solskjaer did say, actually, they wouldn't have left in January, but he said after the signing of Bruno Fernandes, he didn't expect us to make any more signs, but went and got Odi Nagala in on deadline day. But a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, so it's good in the aspects that we have got rid of the lot of the deadwood, to be fair. There's a lot of young players in the squad as well that are developing and trying to improve. I think Greenwood's going to become a success. I think we need to start playing Mason Greenwood more in the Premier League, because for me, he's not getting enough starts in the Premier League as he should be. In the cup games, he's getting them starts, but not in the league. In the league games, he's not getting them starts, and that's my concern. So he needs to play more, Greenwood. Williams is going to become a success. Tuanzebe's done well in the games he's played in this season, but he's been out of injury for quite some time as Tuanzebe. James Garner in the games he's played in this season, he's done well. Diego Dalot's just come back. Chong, he's another one of the players I'd get rid of because I think he's a liability. He hasn't emulated that level as yet, so I think, he's set to leave on a free transfer at the end of the season. So that's an aspect to me that credits Solskjaer, to be fair. He has got a lot of trustworthy in his young players, to be honest with you, but, there's some young players here that I have, to be fair, got element of concerns about. Angel Gomez, he isn't getting any opportunities. There's no point in being here, so maybe he's another player, that does need to be moved on by the football club and that. So, yeah, and, Chelsea, after the winter break, it's going to be a difficult game, don't get me wrong. Chelsea have been inconsistent this season, and that's the explanation why we're in the top four race, because Chelsea have been so inconsistent, because we've had so many opportunities this season to close the gap on that top four, but we haven't done it, unfortunately. And, the game against Chelsea after the winter break could decide who finishes in the top four this season. We're 6 points behind at the moment and that. Don't get me wrong, since Solskjaer's come in, we've had a good record against Chelsea. I think Solskjaer's beaten Chelsea 3 times as a manager since he got recommended into Manchester United, and he's already overcome Frank Lampard twice. So take that into account. But we have got quite a few priorities. We've got a few priorities, and that's to get the top four. We need that top four this season. Also, we need to get some silverware on the board. The FA Cup would be good. Also, the Europa League would be good. Plus, it's another route to Champions League football. But, we will see what happens, because we've lacked silverware in the last 6 or 7 years, unfortunately. We have lacked silverware in that. And, but I just think, we need a manager in whose philosophy is right for the club, a manager with a proven pedigree and a manager at the top level. Not always the right solution, no, because obviously we've already had 2 good managers. Well, 2 managers with proven pedigrees in Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho, but obviously, their tenures didn't work out with the club. If we decide to sack Solskjaer, we'll have to pay around £5 million to get rid of him. I think it's around £5 million. Obviously, any time in this 2.5 year period we get rid of him, we've got to pay to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. But, not all of the blame just stems from him, like I mentioned. It'd be interesting to see how Solskjaer approaches the game against Chelsea. Probably will go with 4-2-3-1 formation, because he has been going with that formation on a regular basis this season. In the odd game here and there, he's gone with 3 at the back, and from my own perception, I think we look more expansive with 3 at the back. We look much better. But, we will currently see. So that's everything to update you with today, guys. That's your news regarding Messi and Paul Pogba and everything else. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.